Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on electronic devices and circuits. In previous session we have studied the fixed bias circuit by using BJT. In this video lecture we will focus on voltage divider bias circuit. So we seen that the coordinates of Q point are VCEQ and ICQ, and in our previous biasing configuration the VCEQ and ICQ, these were the function of current gain beta of transistor. So VCEQ and ICQ, that are the function of beta, and this beta, it is temperature sensitive. That means if temperature varies, the value of beta is going to vary, and with the variations in the value of beta, the base current IB will be affected, and indirectly the collector current ICQ, it will affect. And that's why we require a circuit which will be less dependent or independent of this factor beta, and this voltage divider biasing circuit is such type of circuit. In this voltage divider biasing circuit, if the circuit parameters are properly chosen, the resulting levels of ICQ and VCEQ can be almost totally independent of beta. So for independent of beta, we require to choose the proper circuit parameters, and with the help of proper circuit parameters, our value of ICQ and VCQ will be independent of beta. So with change in beta, the level of IB will change, but the operating point on the characteristics which is defined by VCQ and ICQ, it will remain fixed if we select the proper circuit parameters, and this voltage divider circuit is such type of circuit. So in voltage divider biasing circuit, this is our BJT, base, emitter and collector terminals. At emitter, one resistor is connected called as RE. At collector side, one resistor is connected, RC, and here the supply plus VCC is connected for proper biasing of the device. Similarly, at the base, the resistors are connected in such a way that one resistor R1, which is connected between the supply VCC and the base terminal, and another resistor is connected, which is R2, between base and the ground terminal, and due to this the voltage at the base terminal will get divided with the help of this R1 and R2 resistors. So this is our voltage divider biasing circuit. Here at collector terminal, capacitor is connected, C2, and then we can observe output V0, and here again through C1 capacitor input Vi can be applied. So this Vi is AC input and V0 is also AC output. For the biasing, we are going to study the DC analysis, and for that DC analysis, here the capacitors, these two capacitors are acting as open circuit for DC signal. That's why we can remove that and we can draw the DC equivalent circuit for voltage divider network. So this is RC, this is our transistor, this is RE, this one is R1, this one is R2, and this is ground. So this is our voltage divider circuit. Here the current through this RC is nothing but IC, current through this RE is nothing but IE, At base terminal the current is entering, that is called as IB, and the current which is flowing through this resistor R1, let's consider that current is I plus IB. So out of this the current, here the current gets divided at this point, and I current will go in this branch and IB current will go in this branch. Now for the analysis or for DC analysis, what happens here, we have to first of all draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So for analysis, or we can call it as a DC analysis, we will see the exact analysis of this circuit. For that, first we have to draw Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Then what we have to do, we have to obtain the base current IB, and from that base current IB we have to identify the value of IC, which is beta into IB, and then in third step we have to identify the value for VCE or the expression for VCE. So these are the steps for this voltage divider biasing network. Now let's see this biasing circuit. So the first step is Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So for that Thevenin's equivalent circuit, what we'll do, we'll redraw only the input side of the network. Okay, so first step is Thevenin's equivalent circuit, and for that we'll consider the input side of the network, and I'll redraw the input side for our convenience like this. VCC, at VCC R1 resistor which is connected between base and VCC. Okay, after this at emitter we are having RE, and it is grounded like this, and between base and this ground terminal, means between this base and ground, resistor R2 is connected. So we can draw resistor R2 at this location. So this is the input side of the network, and with the help of this input side we have to draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So for Thevenin's equivalent circuit we have to calculate RTH and VTH. Now to calculate RTH, what we have to do, for RTH, here we have to short circuit this VCC supply. That means the voltage source VCC we have to replace by short circuit equivalent. So replace VCC by short circuit equivalent, and we'll consider this much of circuit. So by doing that, what happens, here we'll get the circuit like this. Here is our VCC, here is VCC is shorted, so this VCC is shorted here. Then this is resistor R1, this one is resistor R2. This point is going towards the base. We are not going to draw the further circuit now, and then we have to observe the resistance through these 2 points. So that resistance is, we can observe, if we move from this point, the current gets divided into these 2 branches. That means R1 and R2 are parallel. So we can call RTH is equal to R1 parallel to R2, and that is nothing but RTH is equal to R1 parallel to R2, which is equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Now to calculate VTH, what we have to do, we have to consider the circuit as it is like this. So here is our supply VCC, here is our R1, here is our R2, and this point is given to the base, and through this terminal we have to observe the VTH supply. So this VTH is called as open circuit Thevenin's voltage, and that open circuit Thevenin's voltage we can calculate. Now let's consider the voltage at this or across this R2 as VR2. So we can find out the VTH by voltage division rule. It is equal to the voltage across this VR2. VTH is the voltage observed from these two points, that is nothing but the voltage across this resistor R2. So we can write down VTH is equal to VR2, and which is nothing but by voltage division rule total voltage in the network, that is VCC, into this resistor R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So this is nothing but our VTH voltage, means Thevenin's open circuit voltage and Thevenin's resistance RTH. And then we can see the next loop. Now in second step, what we have to do, we have to find out the current value IB, and for that first of all we have obtained VTH and RTH in first step, and we have to draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So the Thevenin's equivalent circuit will be like this. This is VTH, this is our RTH, and this is our base terminal, this is our emitter terminal. At emitter RE is connected and it is grounded. So for input side of this voltage divided network, this is our Thevenin's equivalent network, and the current flowing in this circuit, that current is nothing but current IB. That means through this RTH current IB is going to flow. Between base and emitter there is a voltage drop called as VBE, having polarity plus and minus. So to identify the value of IB, we have to apply the KVL in this network like this. So by applying KVL, what we get, VTH will start from here, so it is minus plus, so plus VTH, it is plus minus, so across this RTH we are having voltage drop, that is minus IB into RTH. So minus IB into RTH, then again the voltage drop is minus VBE. Again across this RE we are having the voltage drop plus and minus. So voltage drop across RE is IE into RE, because current flowing through this RE is IE, and there is a relation IE is equal to, what is the relation, 1 plus beta into IB. So instead of IE you can put this value here, but initially I'll put the IE only into RE is equal to 0. Now putting this in this equation, we have VTH minus VBE minus IB into RTH minus IB into 1 plus beta. Now here what I have done, the value of IE I have put like this, okay, into RE is equal to 0, and solving this further to get the value of IB, which is equal to, IB is equal to VTH minus VBE whole divided by RB plus 1 plus beta into RE. So here we can obtain the value of IB, and we know IC is equal to beta into IB. So from this IC is equal to beta into IB, we can calculate the IC value. So here we have completed the two steps, A, in which we have obtained the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, and in B we have calculated the value of IB, and in step C we have also we have calculated the value of IC. Now only step D is remaining, that is fourth step, where we have to obtain the expression for VCE, and for that VCE we have to consider the collector loop. So I'll write down here only. So for calculation of VCE, we'll consider the collector loop, and I'll draw the collector loop here. So now I will not draw the input side, I will draw the output side only. So this is RE, it is grounded. This one is RC. Now VCC supply I will draw like this for our convenience, plus minus VCC. Now the current through this RC is IC, current through this IE is RE is IE. Voltage drop from collector to emitter, it is plus minus VCE. Here we have to apply KVL in this way to find out the value of VCC. So applying KVL, we'll have VCC, it is plus VCC, then across RC we are having minus IC into RC voltage drop, so minus IC into RC, then we are having minus VCE voltage drop, so minus VCE, again we are having across RE minus IE into RE voltage drop, so minus IE into RE is equal to 0. From this we can calculate VCE is equal to VCC minus ICRC minus IE into RE. So by this way we can find out the value of VCE. So here what we have done, we have identified the value of IC. This IC is nothing but ICQ and VCEQ, which are nothing but the coordinates of Q point. That means we have done the DC analysis for voltage divider biasing network. Now if we have to design this voltage divider biasing network, that voltage divider biasing network I will draw here. This is RC, RE, R1, R2. Okay, so this is our voltage divider bias network. So if we have to design this, then we have to follow some design steps. So what are the design steps? So first of all, what we have to do, we have to consider that current flowing through this resistor R1 and R2, it should be much higher than the base current. Current in this branch and in this branch, these current should be near about 10 times greater than IB. So current in R1 is I plus IB and current in R2 is I. So these currents should be higher than IB. And how much higher? So at least 10 times more, means this current and this current should be at least 10 times more than the base current IB. Then the second design step we have to consider. What is that second design step? That the voltage at emitter terminal, this voltage is called as VE, which is nothing but IE into RE. So that VE voltage, it is we have to consider at least 1/10 of VCC, means VE we have to consider as 0.1 into VCC. So these 2 points we have to consider while designing this voltage divider biasing network. Now what are the advantages of this voltage divider biasing network? So first advantage, the smallest value of S among the 3 biasing network. We have studied fixed bias circuit and other biasing networks are not in our syllabus. so we have not studied that. So if you compare the stability factor of other biasing circuits with this voltage divider biasing, then the voltage divider biasing is having smallest value for the stability factor S. Now here it is possible to avoid loss of signal gain by connecting an emitter bypass capacitor across RE. So the resistance RE, this resistance RE present in this network, it introduces the negative feedback, and due to that the gain reduces, and if we have to avoid that reduction in gain, then we can connect one capacitor across this RE. That capacitor is called as bypass capacitor. So these are the advantages. Now what are the disadvantages? So the ratio of RB to RE, it needs to be low for better Q point stabilization. Means the resistor RB and RE ratio, it should be low. And the another disadvantage, here RE introduces the negative feedback, that's why the gain of this circuit is less. Now we will derive for the stability factor S for this voltage divider circuit. Now already what we have done, we have derived for the stability factor in our second session, which is S is equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta into change in IB divided by change in IC. So this derivation you can get from the second session. I'll use this as it is. Only the initial stages I will show how to do. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to apply KVL to input loop. So when we apply KVL to input loop, what we have got in previous slides, so VTH is equal to IB into RTH plus IE into RE plus VBE. Okay, that is nothing but IB into RTH plus here IE is nothing but IC plus IB. So IC plus IB into RE plus VBE. Okay, so here we will write down IB into RTH plus IC into RE plus IB into RE plus VBE. Now what we have to do, we have to identify the change in IB and change in IC. So for that we'll take the or we'll consider the change in base current IB and change in collector current IC. For that change, this VTH and this VBE, these are constant terms. So these constant terms will become 0. So 0 is equal to change in IB into RTH plus change in IC into RE plus change in IB into RE plus 0. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll divide the whole equation by delta IC. So 0 will be equals to delta IB upon delta IC into RTH plus RE. Now this delta IC divided by delta IC will be 1 into RE plus change in IB with respect to change in IC into RE. Okay, now taking RE common from these two terms, we'll have and therefore change in here instead of taking RE common, what we can do, we can take this point common and will further derive this. So From this and this we'll take change in IB upon change in IC common. So we'll have into RTH plus RE plus RE like this. So this RE will take to this side, we'll have minus RE. Therefore change in IB upon change in IC is equal to minus RE divided by RTH plus RE. Now what we'll do, we'll put this value change in IB upon change in IC into this stability equation. So S will be equals to 1 plus beta whole divided by 1 minus beta into minus RE divided by RTH plus RE. And we can further solve this. Here minus minus will become plus, so 1 plus beta divided by 1 plus beta into RE divided by RTH plus RE. Now you can take this RTH plus RE and you can take that to the numerator and you can solve this further. So by doing that, so RTH into RE into 1, so it is RTH, at the denominator it is RTH plus RE plus beta into RE divided by RTH plus RE, and here it is 1 plus beta. Now this RTH plus RE you can take to the numerator and you will have it is RTH plus RE like this. So again you can further solve this and you will get the equation for stability factor as 1 plus beta common. Now here you can divide the whole equation by RE. So at numerator you will have 1 plus RTH upon RE divided by 1 plus beta plus RTH upon RE. So this is the expression for stability factor of voltage divider biasing network, and we have seen during designing we have to keep this RTH upon RE less so that our Q point stabilization will be proper. So here in this video lecture we have seen the DC analysis for voltage divider circuit, and we have also seen the expression for stability factor of voltage divider network. Thank you for watching the video.